We're going to begin with this teenaged sex trafficking survivor who shared her very deeply personal story with us just a few weeks ago. Now, she says Texas has dropped the ball in her case, and she believes this could leave many other young women out there in danger as a result. Investigator Ginger Allen turning to several agencies looking for answers. Curious what you have found out from them.
Doug, you'll likely remember the story. In April of 2022, Natalee Cramer attended a Mavericks game with her dad. She got up to go to the restroom and never returned. Surveillance video captured her walking around voluntarily with two other men during that game. But later that night, she says she ended up in the parking garage, drugged and raped. And then 10 days later, police found Cramer in Oklahoma with sex traffickers. Oklahoma later convicted several people involved. Texas has not.
I had braces at the time, and I was punched in the mouth by one of the guys.
Natalee Cramer vividly remembers the day this photo was taken.
My braces were like inside my cheek.
Her shoes were off on the seat of the police car.
They were sitting next to me because I had walked and walked and walked for miles.
This is the afternoon an officer found and rescued the then 15-year-old in Oklahoma a week and a half after she disappeared from a Mavericks game.
This is a side of sex trafficking people don't understand. You were trapped.
It was just the spite of women. Just brutal, just no respect.
Cramer says on April 8, 2022, she was taken from the American Airlines Center to a house about 20 minutes away, repeatedly drugged and raped. Days later, she ended up in Oklahoma, but she says she doesn't remember how.
Were they all part of the same organization?
No, they were the guys from the American Airlines Center, completely different from the guy that punched me in the mouth. That guy's and the American Airlines Center guys are completely different from my rapist.
Early on, Cramer's parents told the I-Team they were furious at the way DPD and security handled the case. They say dismissing Cramer, deeming her a teenage runaway, not desperately searching for the 15-year-old using the evidence they had.
I think Dallas did horrible. I don't agree that people, whether you know they are in danger's way or not, they're not just runaways. My case is a perfect example of cops not doing their job. I was walking around outside when the game ended.
In that parking garage?
Yes. Everyone was rushing outside. They would have found me. They just didn't look at all.
DPD eventually arrested a Texas suspect, but the case was no build. We reached out to the district attorney's office. In a statement, a spokesperson told the I-Team, following the grand jury's decision, we met with the family and their attorney to hear and review their concerns, reviewed all of the evidence that was presented. The grand jury deliberates in secret. We will respect their decision. The I-Team also took our and Cramer's questions to Dallas police, asking for an interview mainly to find out if the case is closed. DPD would only send a statement saying, they confirmed DPD investigated the incident. We cannot comment further due to the confidentiality of juvenile information. It's frustrating to Cramer, who questions why her home state has handled this so differently than Oklahoma.
All of those people in Oklahoma are convicted.
You believe more needs to be done?
Yes.
To prosecute those
100%. My first sex trafficking incident was with the people at the American Airlines Center. That is Dallas's deal. That is their responsibility. That happened in their area. That's not Oklahoma's to deal with. I was sex trafficked by Dallas men. Dallas police needs to deal with it, not Oklahoma police.
And no detectives are coming and talking to you about it?
Last time I talked to a detective, 6 months. Haven't heard anything. They don't talk. They interview you, act like they care, and then they don't do anything else.
Where do you think your case stands?
At the very end of the line. It doesn't matter to them. But That's why I feel like sharing my story will open people's eyes to this is real. Cops need to get on to this type of thing, and hopefully my story will spread to people who are survivors and people who just want to support because they care.
And that's why you now have finally decided to do this and show your face.
I'm not afraid. I'm not scared of them. I'm not that scared person I was when I was with those people.
Do you want to say something to them?
I would say thank you because you made me who I am today. You made those things happen in my life that made me stronger, made me be more resilient. But I'll never forgive you. And I wish the worst on you. 100% I wish the worst on you. But thank you.
The family is still holding out hope for more arrests, and more of that hope may come tomorrow. They tell me they have a meeting with the U.S. Attorney's Office to discuss her case, and Doug, Natalee plans to be there.
The bravery, yet again, in that young lady's voice. Back to DPD for a second. So they couldn't discuss this case specifically, they say. Natalee's family very upset about the protocol, clearly. This happened in Dallas. DPD initially had turned the investigation over to another jurisdiction because Natalee was from another city. DPD deemed her a runaway, and that's why it gets pushed back over there. So moving forward from that, any change in DPD's runaway procedures, especially based on this case and what we see here?
Yes and yes, Doug, this is significant. The I-Team has now learned, as of September 2023, DPD made these following policy changes. Officers will immediately begin a missing child or runaway investigation regardless of the jurisdiction in which the child went missing. A missing child or runaway report will be made regardless of the jurisdiction in which the child went missing. And then also the age of the runaway went from between the ages of 10 and 16 to anyone 17 years old and younger. These are small wins, but wins to Natalee and her family.
You can't fix things until you know they're broken. Thankfully, they have brought them to light. Ginger, thank you. Big thanks to the I-Team as well.